Okay, my YouTube people. Okay, now I'm going to install the rocker boxes. I'm not set up that great to video like this, but do the best we can here. I put assembly paste on the top of each push rod. Now I'm going to put assembly paste where the rocker touches the valve stem. Next, I'm going to get my James gasket and put it on. You want to make sure you're on top dead center on the compression stroke. That means the push rods will be all the way down. Probably seen me use these in the past. I have 2 pieces of all thread, and I'll just thread those in right here to hold the gasket, and they just hold the gasket perfectly in place. Now I'll just slip the lower rocker box over the studs and on, making sure that the ends of the push rods are up in the rocker arms, and they are. Now I'll just put the bolts in. So these bolts are the shorter bolts, and these 2 are the longer bolts. To aid in torquing on all these bolts that hold the lower rocker box cover on, I'm going to put oil on the threads of the bolts. Now I'm just going to put them in by hand. Now that I have these down a good bit, I'm going to take out the all thread because I don't need them there anymore. The next ones that go in are these Allen head cap screws, and they go in here and here. And these Allen head cap screws are 1/4 inch. And then I have a 1/4 inch bolt. And these heads take 3. One here, and one here. Again, I'm going to put oil on the threads. And these bolts get a washer. All the bolts in the lower rocker box get washers. Now when you go to torque these, you start with the 4 5/16 bolts, and you do them in a crisscross pattern. They want you to slowly turn these down, and then the final torque on them is 15 to 19 foot-pounds. And the reason you want to bring these down slow is because they're collapsing the lifters. Now my lifters don't have oil in them, so it's not as big a deal. I'm going to torque them to 5 foot-pounds to begin with. And again, I always go around 2 to 3 times at one torque. Make sure they're all torqued at the same amount. Now I'm going to go to 10 foot-pounds. Go around again. Now I'm going to go to 17. Okay, the third time none of them moved. These 3/4 inch bolts get tightened 10 to 14 foot-pounds. Again, I'm going to start off at 5 foot-pounds. First I bring them up snug. It's 5. I'm going to go around second time. This time I'm going to 9 foot-pounds. This last time I'm going to 13 foot-pounds. These 2 outer Allen heads get torqued 90 to 120 inch-pounds. I'm going to start out at 55 inch-pounds. Now I'm torquing them to 85 inch-pounds. Now I'm going to do the last torque at 115 inch-pounds. Next thing I'm going to do is install the lower rubber gasket. Then I'll install the middle rocker box cover. Now I'll install the upper rubber gasket. Going to give this gasket a little stretch. It seems a little tight. Next I'll install the center gasket. Last I'll install the upper cover. And it's important before you torque these down that you center them up. I'm just going to put 2 in to hold it. Before I torque these down, again, like I say, you just want to put your fingers on them and feel where they're all sitting. Kind of line them up. Now that I have the alignment all squared away where I like it, I'm going to tighten these 10 to 14 foot-pounds. We'll start off at 7. Now I'm going to go to 11 foot-pounds. And this will be my final torque. Camera. Last part of this job is the push rod tubes. I just push them up and make sure I wiggle them when they're up in there to know that that O-ring's seated up in the head. Like that. Then I just once I get them up in there, I just make sure they're all the way with a screwdriver like that. Last thing I do is I take the clips, I put them up in there. I take my screwdriver like so, and I just slide them right down the screwdriver. I know they make an inexpensive tool, but this has always served me well. The last part of this build will be putting the intake manifold on, and I'll show you what that looks like. First, you have these two clamps that go up against the O-rings. One's marked with an R, one's marked with an F, and the open end goes towards the rear. It takes an Allen head cap screw to hold it on, and I'm going to put never seize on these since these are steel and that's aluminum. Then I'm going to install the S&S intake, the part number's 367, for the Evo manifold. Of course, I have new O-rings for the manifold, and I'm going to put a slight coat of O-ring lubricant onto them. The O-ring lubricant that I use is Dow Corning 55 O-ring lubricant. I put a splotch on my fingers and then just give them a good wipe. Same with the other one. That one dab of it did both of them. Next thing you do is you slip the clamp on the manifold, and then you put the smaller tapered end in towards the manifold. The flatter fat taper side goes up against the head. Same for the rear. Now your manifold's ready to be installed. Now I'm going to pull the tape off and then install the back ones. Now you just slip the open ends over the bolts. Now you just put the other bolt in. The best way I found to tighten these is to get a ball end Allen wrench, and these are 1/4 inch. And then you just take a 1/4 inch open end wrench and just turn them until they're tight. The back ones are real easy to get to. And then I just snug them. I'm going to leave the tape on the intake manifold until I'm ready to put a carburetor on, and that won't be until it's in the bike. Also, I put tape over any open holes like the oil lines where the pressure sender goes, and then back here where the vent goes. So that's it for this Evo build. I hope you watched all the videos. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed what you see. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments.